that would be like a good way to provide those unfortunate people some type of intermediary where they can get back on their feet as an atheist and get rocking and rolling, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Because our goal is to provide housing anyway, so we're going to get apartment buildings and try to lower the cost of living for everybody. Theists are allowed in also. So, but yeah, for anybody who needs help.
So hi, TJump. I was actually going to ask about that. It seems like you all are talking about the atheist church. Sorry, the atheist church idea, or I don't know what you call it. So I wanted to ask specifically, maybe like summarize that concept and how people join in to. I don't know if you call it a church, but I know
yes,
you have an idea to have an atheist church. Let's call that.
Yes.
So how do people? Cool. How do people get involved with that? What's your plan for that in the future? I live on the West Coast. How can I get involved with it? That kind of thing.
Sure, absolutely. Great question. So it's right now, it's just online. That's it. So this is like my Sunday sermon, essentially. The Church of the Best Possible Worlds is what it's called. It's based on my model of morality. To get involved, you can just say you're a member or whatever, just show up for the live streams, show in the chat right now. So we're building funding to try and purchase an apartment building. That's going to be the first stage. And right now we have about 200,000 of private funds from me and my business partner guys. And that's about enough for the down payment for a 10-unit apartment building. And once we get that, we'll use the funding to buy a church facility, and that church facility will host live streams like this and conversations and debates and do regular church stuff, but for atheists, do like moral classes or whatever. And at that point, you can join and be a member of the church. I'm also planning to start one of these in hopefully every state if possible. So if you want to start like a meetup group of the same church, you can do that, and it should be affiliated, so you should still have the tax exempt status. I don't know what the affiliate paperwork looks like, but you can use my status if you're in the same Church of the Best Possible Worlds atheist church thing. And so I want to start, if you get a meetup group in your area and you get enough interest, and you can also get a large enough down payment to buy an apartment building in your place, you can do the exact same strategy to build your own church and follow the same method. But until then, right now, it's just online. And that's about it. Any other questions about it?
So just to summarize, if I want to be part of the church, I just proclaim it. So I am part of the Church of the Best of Possible Worlds. So I'm in, right? Just by saying it.
Yep, just like Christianity.
And then, cool. Awesome. And then as far as like the model goes, I see how that you're in the beginning stages, but I'm definitely interested. So I think I might just start a meetup group. Like there is a meetup app. Call it, and I can call it the Church of the Best of All Possible Worlds, and then get a group going, and then I can contact you or contact the church itself to get a model going where I can get an apartment building, and then perhaps a facility to conduct activities in the way that you mentioned, and then just, I guess, since it is like Christianity, I could just have my own affiliate or something, have my own version of it, and then just call myself the Church of All Possible Worlds, with the atheist framework, and then grow it on my own, but just be connected with the other Christian, or not Christian, but the other churches in the different states by loosely associating with them. So any type of like legal framework as far as like being a nonprofit status and that kind of thing generally would be on that person's, it would be on their own. There would be no like necessity to go through like a single business entity or nonprofit entity. Is that true?
Not exactly. So in order to qualify as a nonprofit, you have to file your LLC, and on the LLC, it'll give you an option to say, are you affiliated with a nonprofit? So when you're filing for nonprofit status, you have two options. One, you can start your own, which is what I did, and that's a bigger process that takes a long time. But if there's an already established nonprofit, you can say you're a member of this church, and you put that in, and that'll give you nonprofit status by extension because you're a member of the church.
Okay, awesome. And then when I apply for that, and then I check the box that says I'm affiliated with that, then the mechanisms are all organized within the government. Is that right?
Yes, for the most part.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Those are basically my questions. I had another question about your general, like, I guess, moral philosophy.
Sure.
Which is the involuntary impositions of will, all of that. One aspect of that that I'm curious about is your, I guess, hypotheses towards a natural law in the universe. I guess I'm asking what your thoughts are about that natural law. You oftentimes call it a hypothesis. So yeah, that's it. That's my question. What is this natural law that you refer to sometimes?
Well, it's just like any other law of physics. So, like, when we try to explain any phenomenon, pretty much everything is caused by something in physics. It's a law, particle, principle of physics, some kind. And so, no matter what we see, it's all going to boil down to physics. And so, if morality is a thing and if it's objective, then the best candidate explanation of what could be causing it would be a law of physics, because that's what is the best candidate explanation of causing pretty much everything. I think that the patterns in moral intuition and moral progress that we see over time in human society have a very specific direction that they're going in. And I think that the direction would be universal to the vast majority of, to pretty much all conscious agents anywhere in the universe. And I think the best way to explain that is by some unifying force that causes this kind of moral intuitions to develop in all beings everywhere. And that would best be explained by some law of physics that causes them to develop in this way. And so I think that, and whatever that law is, whatever it is the moral law essentially.
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot myself, and I think that the law of physics might be related to laws of thermodynamics. And I'm not a scientist or anything whatsoever. I just do online research. Like I'm an average with my understanding of science, but the correlation that I've kind of stumbled upon is second law of thermodynamics and something that's called negentropy, which is not really like part of scientific language. I feel like it came about in some journals over the 60s and 70s. But basically, negentropy is increasing order and information in the universe, so the opposite of entropy, the measurement of disorder. Could you consider this concept as the physical law that roots ethics and that posits moral actions um, that leads to moral intuition? Because moral intuition is part of like biological evolution, which biological evolution follows these laws of physics. So negentropy, what's your thoughts on that loosely, if you have any ideas at all?
Well, there's, I think, three parts, three thoughts I have on that. First is that I think the laws of thermodynamics are general descriptions of how things operate, but I don't think they're like actual laws of actual fields or anything. It's not like it's a quantum field. The second law, like a quantum field that actually exists, whereas gravity is like an actual field that actually exists. And so the laws in physics are breakdown to those two categories: things that actually exist, electromagnetism, strong, weak, force, gravity. And then there's general trends like the laws of thermodynamics that we see patterns in how the universe operate, but they're not actual things out there. I'm advocating that the morality is one of the actual things out there, like gravity, strong force, weak force. And so the laws of thermodynamics would be more of an emergent phenomenon. So if evolution was simply more convenient to cause this kind of a pattern, that could definitely be a basis of morality. So like if it's entropically more efficient for people to not want to kill other people, or for people to have beliefs that harming other people is bad or something, and that was just literally took less energy than the opposite or something, that could be an entropic way to describe the basis of morality based on the law of physics. I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't have a, because we don't have any like physical evidence of the moral law yet, and so which way in physics that it manifests isn't, could be any of the ways. And so that the entropy way is a possibility, the gravity way is a possibility. I don't have a preference one way or the other.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Last question. I stumbled upon something in my studies about ethics called masculine feminine ethics. Do you know about that? This, when I talk with people about this, nobody really knows about it. What's your
Um,
thoughts on masculinity and femininity as in relationship to ethics?
I think that men and women have different physical biological states, and those states specifically in the brain change differently. And so what they find as subjectively moral can change. So like men like certain things more than women, usually competition. Men have a more more drive for competition than women typically, and because of that, they value like leadership and authority more as opposed to like community. And so those trends do happen. I don't think it would be right to call them moral beliefs. I don't think the moral beliefs are that much different. I think that the pragmatic beliefs are different. So I think there's a pragmatic difference in what the beliefs are, but I wouldn't call them moral, because moral specifically to me would means like this objective moral thing, not just in the general sense of just any kind of social ethical behavior of any kind. It's mine specifically refers to this objective, whatever it happens to be. And so I think in the context of that field that you're talking about, the masculine, feminine morality, it's probably talking to more about pragmatic social values, not actual morality.
Okay, that's a good way to look at that. Pragmatic social values. Cool. And then the new one that I've learned is something called particularism, in reference to morality. Do you know anything about particularism?
Yeah, moral particularism. Yes, I have studied that. What about it?
Just, I don't know what it is. What is that? I
So
could
it's
always
like
Google it or whatever.
it's where morality isn't determined by principles, it's determined by like the particular way the action happens or something in reality, the particular context of the action. So like this action is immoral if it causes this consequence or something. So it's about the particular situation that the action is in is determines whether or not it's moral, and there isn't some kind of overriding principle that you can use to say that any given action is wrong. So I would disagree with moral particularism. I think that you can give a principle, any involuntary imposition of will is immoral. And so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's contingent on the situation that makes something immoral. I think you can give general principles that describe the essence of morality.
Cool. Okay. I guess those were my main questions. I can't think of anything else right now, so thanks for talking with me
Yep.
about that stuff. And I may potentially follow up with you about the the Church of All Possible. Sorry,
Church
the
of the
Church of
Best
the Best
Possible
All
World.
Possible Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. And thanks for the I guess the clarification there, because
Oh,
I really
what
like the
else? What else you can
idea.
do? Just one more thing is I
Yeah.
applied on YouTube for giving status. So if I get that, you can do a fundraiser on your channel or whatever for this church, and that would also be super helpful.
Hey, yeah, cool. I have a channel. I'll start to grow it. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna step down. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks for coming up. Oh, well, that's not a inspiring name. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm going fine, man. So, so my first question is this is related to Hinduism, okay? How much do you know APJ Abdul Kalam?
What? Do I know what?
Yeah, APJ Abdul Kalam. He was one of the I think he was the president of India back in the days. So he claimed that you know Ramayana, right, is one of those mythologies from Hinduism.
Yeah.
So he was saying that using a planetary device, I think it's something from NASA. He said that the mythological story of Ramayana actually it's not mythology, but it's actually history and was 7,000 years ago. Is there any way to counter that argument or?
Well, there wasn't anything in the Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas that specifically happened 7,000 years ago. There was the age of the Earth. So in the Vedas, it says the age of the Earth is 4.3 billion years old, and that's pretty
Yeah.
close. So the actual age of the Earth is 4.5 billion. So that's a very good estimate. The problem is that it also says in the Vedas we're only halfway through a one of the sleeping cycles of Brahman. So it's about, which would mean we're only like 1 billion years old. So that would be wrong.
No, like no, what I was saying that Ramayana, like because when I'm talking about Ramayana, I'm talking about Ramayana. I'm not actually talking about the Vedas or anything because Ramayana is written by Valmiki, and Valmiki was like so I think he's some kind of sage guru, I guess, who wrote a epic story, I guess, regarding Ram and how he defeated Ravana or something like that. So they were saying that using a planetary device, I don't know how does that work. You're the one who has knowledge in science. But using a planetary device, they were saying that this mythological story is actually happened, something like that. I think if you search APJ Abdul Kalam and Ramayana, then I think you will find out the context, I guess.
Well,
But
I have no
yeah,
idea. He would have to make specific predictions and then give us which device, which thing are we supposed to use? The James Webb Telescope, the Hubble telescope. What I don't know what planetary device we're supposed to use, but the LIGO experiment.
yeah, some sort of planetary software was used. So wait,
Well,
hang
you can
on,
get
let me
software
find
to
this.
do anything you want. So software
Um,
isn't evidence. So, but what you would need is novel testable
so
predictions.
yes, yeah. So like in here it's written like as per the Institute of Scientific Research on Vedas, planetarium software has been wait one second. Planetary software has ascertained the birth of Lord Rama as 10th January 5114 BC in Ayodhya. It says something like that. Can I send you this link? DM you just if you want to check out, just in case.
Sure, but there's nothing in cosmology that's significant 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just like I was really confused regarding this article, so that's one of the question that I wanted to ask because as far as astrophysics and like NASA and planetarium software that they are using, I don't have much knowledge
It sounds
about.
like it's doing astrology where it's looking at patterns in the stars and saying it's like this is your birth chart thing and saying, well, this guy has this birth chart which maps onto what the stars looked like 5,000 years ago or something. That seems most likely what
Yeah,
it's doing, which of course astrology is meaningless, and so you can just make it
yeah,
whatever dates you want.
yeah. Yeah, but it's just very complicating for me. And there are many Indian atheists who I have talked with, and it seems like I haven't gotten a proper response yet. I might have to talk with them. There are many Indian atheist YouTubers who I am talking with right now regarding this, whether this claim is correct or not. So, okay, fine. I'll ask
Well,
them.
I would say the
Okay.
first thing you need to do is in the article, you need to find exactly what the prediction is. What does it say it found? And then where does it say this
Yeah.
was going to be found before we found it? Those are the two things you need. You can say, so here's the book, and in the book it says this sentence, and this sentence has to be a precise sentence of something that we would discover. And you say, here's the experiment we can use, and here's the device we can use to find that that's true. Those are the two things we need. Because right now it's just a bunch of vague stuff that I can't tell what exactly it's saying either way. And so you need those two
Yeah.
specific things to be able to determine what the claim is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Um, so another claim that many Hindu nationalists have made is regarding Gaumutra. So Gaumutra is like cow urine, okay? They claim that Gaumutra is actually beneficial to health and it has ability to remove cancer and all that kind of stuff. And whenever I mean literally like the BJP government, the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the ruling party in our country, the ministers in there, like even the education minister of the state of Rajasthan, I believe, they seems to promote cow urine and says that cow urine is beneficial to health and you should drink cow urine. I mean, these are literal ministers of our country, and they are leaders of our country, and they're saying things like that.
Here in
So
America, we
whenever,
have young Earth creationists who believe the world was created 6,000 years ago. So having crazy people in politics
yeah,
is common in religious countries.
y- yeah. So is there because whenever I ask them, they tell me, "Oh, I'm not saying raw cow urine. I'm telling you that you should drink distilled cow urine." So that's what they say. Like, so you have to drink distilled cow urine, and it will cure your cancer. It will, in fact, during the
There is
COVID
no
time,
cure
there
for
were,
cancer. There is no cure for cancer. The best we can do is like what's it called? Chemotherapy, where we try to kill it with chemicals. Cow urine does nothing.
yeah,
It doesn't help.
yeah,
You can just Google it. It does nothing. If it cured cancer, then the scientists in the West would have already used it to cure cancer. They didn't, so it does
yeah.
not cure cancer.
And like in here in India, like during the COVID times, okay. So what happened was that to cure the COVID-19, they were saying that to cure COVID-19, you should drink Gaumutra. I mean, literally, there's a person named Ramdev Baba, Ramdev, who sells Ayurvedic products. He has a product which is called Gaumutra, I guess. It's literally distilled cow urine that he says to drink, and it will be very beneficial to your health. Is
No,
there any scientist who agrees with
no,
distilled cow urine?
zero of them. None. No.
I hope, yeah, because like literally they're bringing these kinds of weird studies where they say that cow urine, Gaumutra, cow urine is actually beneficial to health, and like literal BJP ministers are promoting this, so it's crazy. So
Yeah,
I
they're
just wanted
wrong.
to
They're
confirm
all
it.
wrong. If any of it worked, it would be being used in the West. It's not being used in the West, therefore it doesn't work.
Mm. And also, yeah, like they say that the reason like of course these are the same, like these people, whenever somebody says that, oh, the scientific consensus doesn't agree with you, the scientists don't agree with you, they will say that, oh, the Western imperialists are, they will never accept Eastern science and all that kind of stuff. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, all pseudosciences say that. So everyone says when an expert disagrees with them, if they're a pseudoscience, they say, "Oh, they're just biased and they're not just accepting our work." But that's false. So the scientific method specifically rules out all bias. And the scientific method is that
Yeah,
every scientist has their own bias, their own ideas that they want to be right. And the way you get
yeah,
famous in science is by proving your idea right and everyone else wrong.
mm,
And so everyone is trying to prove your idea wrong because they want to prove their
mm,
idea right. And this
mm,
method filters out all bias. There is no scientific bias there, none. Science is
mm,
you're trying to disprove everyone else, and everyone else is trying to disprove you. And so there is no bias. There is
mm.
no one there to do that. It's just everyone trying to disprove you is the normal way things work in science. So if all of those people and the experts are trying to disprove you, that's not a bias. That's how science works.
Mm. Yeah, like literally, like every time I tell them is like, oh, the Western scientists will never agree with us Indian scientists because the Westerns are biased towards us Eastern scientists, and this
That's false. There's
and all
plenty
other
of
things.
really famous Eastern scientists that have made significant progress in many academic fields, like V.S. Ramanujan, the mathematician. He was an Indian guy, had no education, went into the
Yeah,
Western world, revolutionized mathematics. It has nothing to do with bias.
yeah, that's the thing though. It just cringes me. I'm like, I don't know what to say. So yeah, that's like what's your thought on, like, also like in Hinduism, many people say, I'm sorry, I'm asking a lot of Hindu questions because that's the only dominant religion here. Like many Hindus say that, oh, whenever I try to criticize their religion, they say, oh, Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of living your life. And these are the type of
Well,
counter
that's
arguments they try to
partially
make. So
true.
how?
So, Hinduism isn't a religion; it's a collection of a whole bunch of different religions. So there isn't like
Yeah, that's true.
one Hinduism, and so many of the different
Mm,
Hindu traditions are more cultural traditions, kind of like Buddhism, where it's not really there are cultural Buddhists
mm,
who just treat it as like a way of life and not a religion. And so for many
mm.
Hindus, it is true to say that it's not a religion and it is a way of life. So that's legitimate, but it only applies to a small number of Hindus, not all Hindus.
Yeah, so are you like what are your thoughts on like those religion which I don't know whether I can say Buddhism is religion. Many people say that it's a kind of a philosophy.
It's both the same
Same,
thing.
yeah. So same goes. Yeah. So like is it okay to have that to believe that things like Hinduism and Buddhism should be like it's just a mere way of living your life? Like, are you okay with that,
Sure.
or
Yeah, so I
Okay,
think
with that, right? Okay.
any philosophies like that you can take to a life approach, especially Buddhism, which is very pacifistic. Like if you were taking like
Mm.
Nazism or something and using that as a way of life, I would be opposed to it. But Buddhism, Jainism, especially, I think Jainism is a phenomenal way of life, the most moral of any of the religions. And so using religious ideologies as a way to guide your life, I think, is perfectly legitimate.
Okay, then also, okay, one last question. So, have you how much do you know about Sadhguru?
Not much.
Have you watched any of his content?
Nope.
Okay, okay, that's it. Because if you knew, I would have asked you a lot of questions about him. But that's fine. Okay, thank you very much, man.
Yep. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yo, TJump.
Hello, Potato.
How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
Good, man. I heard about your channel, bro. Like, I heard about the video.
Cool.
Yeah, bro. Like, nah, YouTube really harsh for real, bro.
True
Now,
that.
anyways, I'm here to debate. So, but you know, I understand, bro. Like the censorship and stuff, like, all of that stuff.
Appreciate it.
Anyways, you know, I got a question, right? I mean, about what you think about like non-existence, basically. What do you think about that?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, but what do you think about it? If it's like
Non-existence
it doesn't exist.
doesn't exist. It is a class of things that do not exist.
Okay. So what do you think that something that can't exist can exist? Like becomes like existence. What do you think? What do you think about that?
No, I don't think that's possible.
So you don't believe like Big Bang, basically.
Well, the Big Bang is not non-existing things becoming existing things. That's not the Big Bang.
I mean, do you know like the universe? Like me personally, I had this thought that okay, like the universe has like genetic material, you know, in it. Because think about it, like most of the planets are similar. Like for example, there's another planet that's similar
Because they're
to the
round
Earth,
rocks?
and then yeah. I mean, there's another planet that's similar to Earth, and there's another planet that's similar to. I just feel I don't know. Would you think that there's like genetic material in like the universe?
Well, there is genetic material in the universe. It's called genes, DNA. There isn't any genetic material in planets. Planets don't have genetic material. They follow a pattern from the laws of physics, like gravity causes objects with
Yeah.
mass to come together. And those objects with mass are normally rocks because rocks are like one of the most stable forms of matter. And so the rocks come together and smash into each other and become a big ball of rock in space. Because like ice melts, so it's not going to be ice for very long. Something that's gas will get blown away, so it's not going to be as gas giants exist, but it's going to be rarer than rocks. So it's not about there's no
So
genes there. It's just hey, here's matter. It's common. The more common the matter, the more common it's going to form into a
okay,
planet.
but then we have to ask ourselves like, okay, where these rocks come from? Do they come from like stars or like, you know? That's the question. Like, where did rocks come from? Do they come from like a black hole or something like that? That's like
Nothing comes from a black hole. That's why it's a black hole. It goes in, it doesn't come out. So first there was just like quantum fields. Quantum fields, fluctuation in the quantum fields separated energy into positive and negative states. The positive and negative states are particles, so like a particle and an antiparticle. And these particles and antiparticles, when they combined with other particles and antiparticles, they became gas, so hydrogen, helium, gases. And these gases then, through gravity, got crushed together. And when they got crushed together, like by stars, they became heavier elements like oxygen and carbon and iron. And then the stars exploded and sent these particles out into space everywhere. And then they came together into big rocks called planets.
But gravity also has to hold these things together while the process is happening. So that's the thing that's interesting, you know, like
Why?
there has to be another element that comes into play to like holds, you know, these quantum fields in
Yes,
place.
there's
You know?
four of these. There's four of these elements, as you so called them. It's the strong force, the weak force, the electromagnetic force, and gravity. Those are the four forces.
But like, is gravity like always there? Is like like
Yes.
I know that in gravity there's like a strong point, and there's like I know in
What?
like gravity strong point is a weak point. You know, like at some places like it's like you know stronger than other places. So
Yes, places with more
but
mass.
yet all the planets are perfectly moving. You know,
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about there. So So
I
the more
don't
mass, more
understand that.
gravity. Less mass, less
You know, like
gravity. It is there always.
but you know the parts, for example, some parts of the Earth, for example, there is gravity. Then you know, than other countries. You know,
What? What? There's no
that's what I don't
part of the
understand.
Earth that has more gravity. Like maybe you're thinking of the fact that the further away from the center of the Earth you go, the less gravity affects you. So you're
Yeah,
way lighter on the top of a mountain than you do.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
Okay,
I meant.
yeah. So the further, like the most mass on the Earth is in the center of the Earth. That's where the most mass is. So the closer to the center, the more you're going to be pulled down. The further away, the less you're going to be pulled down. That's why you can be in space and you can float because you're very far away from the center of the Earth. So even though you're still being affected by the Earth's gravity, which is why you're floating around it, you're not being like you can't walk on the ground like you do here because you're further away from the most gravity, which is at the center of the Earth.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have like any spiritual evidence for like that though? Just
Spiritual
asking.
there's no such thing as spiritual evidence. There is physical evidence, there's empirical evidence, there's novel testable predictions that prove this. Yeah.
You know, but like, what I mean by spiritual evidence is basically like non-existent evidence, but at the same time, like,
If
you
it
know, because
You
spiritual
can't
evidence is like,
have
okay,
non-existent evidence. If it's non-existent, it can't be evidence of anything.
well, like dreams, for example, like aren't dreams like aren't isn't the dream world it's in itself like not existent? Is it not like created by minds?
Yeah, it
Well,
exists in your
it
mind.
doesn't exist in your mind, but does it really exist?
Yes, in your mind.
RL?
So like a non-existent thing exists nowhere. Like it doesn't exist outside of your mind. That's true, but it does exist inside of your mind.
So you know, I think it was last week. I think I don't know if it was last week though. I was talking about like you know about like Jesus' word and you know what the Bible says and stuff. What do you think about that? You know, what do you think? Does like the Bible give enough evidence for you know existing, or like I think do you believe like in Hinduism or
So the first person in the Bible who existed was King David. Everyone before that didn't exist. So some things in the Bible did
okay?
happen and did exist, and many things did not happen and did not exist.
Well, like what do you think about the current prophecies though? Because like current prophecies basically say, okay, well, it's like it's more like a hint. It's not like okay, it's 100% facts, right? I mean, we don't know the day or the hour, but by prophecy, we should maybe see Jesus coming by 2030,
That would
right?
be phenomenal
Um,
evidence. If that happens, that would be good evidence of Christianity.
there's a lot of evidence already out there in the Bible, prophecies like that are predict from 2,000 years ago. For example, like dawn or second day. But I talked about this before. I
None
don't
of those
think you want to hear like
work.
the same thing.
So all of the prophecies in the like Old Testament are vague and ambiguous and can be interpreted in a million different ways.
But end time prophecies,
Those
and
haven't happened yet.
that has kind of happened.
What is an end time prophecy that you think happened?
I'll search this one up because I don't remember it from the top of my head. Wait a sec. Well, when I talk about end time prophecies, I'm talking about like how people are gonna rebel against God and people are gonna follow myths instead of just that type of stuff, right?
Well, those aren't prophecies. Those are things that have always happened all throughout time. So, like for it to be a prophecy, you have to predict something
yeah, but
that we don't know yet.
it says before his coming, right? It says before his coming, right? And second day should be his second coming.
Well, like if I said
and
before
in the second day,
so like if I said before the spaghetti monster comes to Earth, people will breathe air. That's a stupid prophecy because people have been breathing air for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. And so predicting people are do the same thing they're already doing isn't a prophecy. It's saying people will continue to do the things they're already doing, which doesn't give us anything specific. So, like if I said people will all become purple, that would be good because that's different. It's something new.
but then you're kind of ignoring the evolution part. That like we can change. For example, back 100 years ago, right? People thought LGBTQ was like dumb, but it's not dumb now. It's like no, kind of.
Well, it wasn't dumb back then either. So, like Rome, it was pretty common. But
it was dumb to think that. It was dumb to think that.
Not really. But so even if people change, that wouldn't make a difference. So if you predict people breathe air and people will breathe air at the end times, and then like in 5,000 years people stop breathing air, well, it just mean your prediction was wrong.
What if we can live without breathing air? What about that?
Then that would mean your prediction was wrong. So if you said people will breathe air before the end times, and then all people stop breathing air, then there's no one left to breathe air, and the prediction is wrong.
Of course. You're right about that. But let's say, even though let's say it happened before, or the rebellion and stuff, like you kind of need to know that at one point there was times where because now even in this like generation we have like I don't know how much Christians Christian is definitely one of the most popular religion. I think it holds like maybe over 1 billion people in it. Like there's a lot of Christian people, right? Of course, most of them don't follow the word. They don't even follow what the Bible says.
What is the point of this sentence?
Is that at one point, of course, that was always evil, but at one point the world was not like this bad, but
there was no. So the world's been getting better, not worse.
What do you mean?
Like everything, life expectancy, education rates, quality of life, well-being, availability of food and housing and clean water. The world's been getting better. The murder rates have been going down. Crime rates have been going down. The world's getting better, not worse.
Wait, isn't it? Wait, I think the crime rates are going down because of pornography. I think
the crime rates have been going down for tens of thousands of years. It was way before pornography was invented.
Wait, but I feel like it's because people in like the present days, they need like some of that dopamine thing, so that can maybe help them.
Sure,
I think it's because of that.
Helps brains. Sure.
Yeah. You know, because like our dopamine, like I mean, when you feel happy, right? It makes you feel like kind of safe in the position you are in. Like, I feel like
Yes, more
pornography like
happiness
does like
means less crime. That's a good point. Yes.
exactly, and that's why I think pornography is like the reason why there's less crime. Of course.
Okay. Sure,
We,
sure.
maybe we can agree on this one. No, maybe we can agree on this one.
Maybe it is the case that porn decreases crime. Sure.
Of course, I mean that could definitely work. I mean, maybe. Do you think TikTok would decrease crime? Because that abuses a
TikTok?
lot of.
Maybe. Sure.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, right? The thing is, what I mean really about is like the pedophilia thing. Like if that gets normalized, then I mean, but of course, the world, technology is getting better. That I can definitely agree with that. Technology is getting
So
better.
pedophilia is going
Could like
down. It used to be higher again. That's something that was more in the past, less now.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think that? What do you think that? There would be really less. I think there would be more crimes in the future, though. I think the scales could like go back up once there's more technology, right? People are gonna. I feel like people are gonna literally kill just for technology. That's what I'm gonna think. That's what I think.
That makes
You know.
zero sense.
Yeah, because it's who doesn't want to achieve immortality?
Well, technology as it goes up gets spread automatically. So, like, are people killing for iPhones? Not really, no, because everyone gets an iPhone who wants one, pretty much.
I mean, people steal iPhones.
It's true. People steal
Like
iPhones.
they risk. Like I mean, we're not in those days yet, but they risk like if they do it multiple times, they risk persecution. No.
Again, this is not an increase in crime. This is a decrease in crime. It used to be if you stole a piece of bread, you would get your hand cut off. Now you steal an iPhone, you get a fine.
Yeah, what fine? Like what? Exactly.
You get charged money. You have to pay a fine.
Okay, what if you don't have that money? Well then,
And you do community service.
what if you don't want
You go to prison.
to? Why if you don't want to? Why if you don't want to go prison?
They don't give you the choice. The men in the blue suits come lock you up anyway.
And what if you do bullshit in prison then?
You
Stay
stay in
long in
there
prison.
longer.
Yeah, it's obvious, bro. It's so obvious. But what it like? Let's say the guy just really doesn't care about his life and just wants to just do bullshit. Well then.
Then he goes to prison.
Yeah, he goes to prison, but what? Like, let's say
Was
he
there like
kills almost.
a point to this?
Let's say he kills everyone in prison. He does bullshit. He doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to repent. Then what? Wait, what's
He'd
then?
be put into solitary confinement, and he wouldn't be able to harm anybody anymore.
Maybe we should just like give like the prisoner an iPhone and he has dopamine. He can watch porn and then no, no. I feel like
If you're
nowadays.
talking about how do we best get criminals to stop being criminals, there are criminal justice systems that do cause remittance of criminal behavior. So, like Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany have criminal systems that are less barbaric than America and that work better to cause people to be cured.
Of course, but we talked about like the free will thing last time, or the free choice, about like like about the drowning thing. That was like interesting. But yeah, I really don't know, man. Like, let's say that prisoner would just kill like everyone in that prison. Like, he's just gonna stay longer and longer. Like, I feel like there's a limit. I feel like, anyways, there's a limit to like what you can do, right?
Yes, like he was only going to stay as long as he's alive, and then when he stops being alive, he won't be there anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Was there a
There's a
point?
limit, but then we need to also understand. Okay, there's a limit to what we humans can do, right? So that's why
Obviously.
for me personally, I believe like in a God, right? Because he is boundless, you know.
That makes zero sense. Saying
Because the
that we
limits of
have
what we
limits,
do,
therefore I believe in a God because I don't want limits, does not make sense.
that's not what I said. I said he has no limits, so that's why also I believe in him. Also,
Right.
it's because
So believing that
Jesus,
something
right? Jesus died
exists
on the
because
cross,
it
right?
has
He
less
did it for our
limits
sins.
is not rational.
What?
Believing something exists because you've defined it as having no limits is not rational. Like I can define my bank account as having $1 billion because I want it to exist. Doesn't mean it exists.
Yeah, I can also say hypothesis, right? It's a hypothesis.
Sure. What is your testable prediction?
Well, of course, when I'm talking about like Jesus, like when he died on the cross for us, and that's also the main reason.
Lots of people died on crosses. They were not God. Why would Jesus be any different? Let's give some other people a chance to talk for a bit. Okay, that guy's going to get banned.
Hey, TJump.
Hey,
How are you doing this morning?
all right. A little tired. How are you?
I have to apologize for pulling out the dad jokes last time. I did it at an inappropriate time, and I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
Okay.
I was just trying to lighten. But you raised an interesting point, which is it rational to believe in the omnipotence of God, or that God has anything to do with what you're doing?
Sure.
But that's the hard part about motivation and inspiration. If I were to say, well, I guess if you were a Marine drill sergeant, you might be able to motivate people by telling them that they're a piece of crud and they're not worth anything, and that you're just going to punish the crap out of them if they don't do what you tell them to do.
Who cares about motivation?
Well, I mean, all of us have to make it through life and do our thing,
So?
I mean, if we're unmotivated, we might not do anything.
So?
Well, that's important. It's important to do something with your life.
Why did you jump to the conclusion that it's important?
Well, I guess I suppose as an alternative, just shutting yourself in a box and waiting to die. I mean, it's good to get something done.
No. Why would you assume that? Maybe the box life is better.
Maybe the box life is better. Oh my goodness, you are tired today.
No, it's a legitimate question. So you seem to be making a bunch of assumptions that people should have a purpose, and because people should have a purpose, we need something that motivates them. God can motivate, therefore God, something like that. It's a very, very bad argument. And so the first thing is,
Well, but it's not that God motivates you. It's that by thinking of this abstraction, because it's not like God is sitting in your lap or God is.
Well, my original question was,
tapping you on the
who
shoulder
cares
physically.
whether or not you motivate yourself? Why is that relevant to truth? The answer is it's not. It is not relevant to truth whether or not you motivate yourself.
Well, I mean, if you don't motivate, then you won't accomplish anything, and you won't have anything.
That's irrelevant to truth. So, like, I could have solved all of the truths of the universe and done nothing with my life. I would still be right.
Well, I guess people at one time thought that philosophers were a waste of time. They didn't accomplish anything.
They still are.
I don't think they're a complete waste of time.
But again, so the question still stands. Why do you keep bringing up this whole motivation thing? This is not relevant to truth. Whether or not people have a motivation does not make a difference to whether or not something is true.
Well, I mean, if you look at the results of someone who's unmotivated, and you take that same person with motivation,
Appeal
and
to
you
consequence
you compare,
fallacy.
you
The
so
results
we shouldn't care.
results
We shouldn't
don't
care
affect
if we
truth.
accomplish anything.
Results do not affect truth.
Okay, so if someone were to make the argument that an individual is worthless and useless and indolent and a waste of time and space and a waste of food, you know, what would what should they defend themselves against that claim?
They shouldn't have to. Like, again, you would need to show some kind of relevance to what this has to do with anything they said. So if you say, I forget his name, there was a philosopher who did nothing and didn't contribute to society and was homeless and threw poop at people. And he was one of the greatest philosophers in Roman antiquity. And you want to say he's worthless. Well, his ideas could be right and revolutionary. Simply saying he's a burden on society doesn't support your claim.
Well, I mean, similarly to a philosopher, I think there were 12 disciples that, or at least,
Okay.
supposedly 12 disciples that had followed Jesus and had spread these ideas and ideals to other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
one could argue that they were worthless.
Well, the same argument would apply to them. Simply saying that they're a burden on society does not disprove anything they've said. So the truth of anything the apostle said and the truth of anything a philosopher said is true independent of anything of who they are as people. Who they are as people does not matter. It's a tu quoque fallacy. Appeal to, or an ad hominem, saying the quality of the person literally makes zero difference to any claims they make ever.
Well, I'm not saying that we're talking about different people. I'm just saying if you have the same individual with no motivation and is lax in their
level
life,
of motivation
or the
makes
same
zero
individual
difference. It has zero importance at all.
But it has a huge difference. It has a huge difference.
How does their level of motivation make anything they say or believe more or less likely to be true?
Well, I mean, and this is not an attack on you personally, but you woke up today, or you stayed up today and are hosting this show. I mean, that's work. That's accomplishing more than nothing.
Does that make any of my beliefs more likely to be true?
Well, I think it puts force and energy behind them, as opposed to just having them nothing.
That doesn't mean anything. Does it make any of my beliefs more likely to be true?
Well, I mean, truth can be seen as a popularity contest.
No, it cannot. Literally, that's the opposite of truth.
I mean, in a legal case, sometimes people make good arguments, and sometimes their arguments fall flat, and it could be regardless of whether someone is actually innocent or not.
Okay, so does their level of motivation make their arguments better?
Well, if they don't work at it and they just show up and get creamed by the other side,
if my argument
the validity of their case falls flat.
If my argument is 1 + 1 = 2, does my level of motivation make that more or less likely to be true? Say there's a person with zero motivation.
It doesn't change whether 1 + 1 is
right.
true.
There you go. There you go. So for all facts, for any fact, does the level of motivation affect whether it's true? 1 + 1
Well, I mean,
2.
if you want to talk about just pure scientific facts, then whether someone's motivated doesn't mean anything. But
right, reality is there independent of your level of motivation. So the level of motivation, say there's someone who's 100% motivated and someone who's 0% motivated. It's Dionysus. Thank you, Xavier. That's the name of the philosopher who threw poop at people.
All right.
Your level of motivation makes zero difference to any of the facts in the universe. Doesn't change them at all.
Well, if you were stuck on an island and you had zero motivation, you could probably starve and die pretty quickly. But if you had motivation, you might be able to survive and get off the island.
Any of the facts that you believed, all of your facts would still be right, whether or not you were motivated. So the motivation part just does not make a difference to facts or reality. No.
So human circumstance has no bearing on reality.
Correct.
So human beings have no worth.
No. That has literally no connection to the previous sentence you said.
No, I'm saying
the ability to have an influence on reality has no bearing on whether or not we have worth. two completely different facts. The ability to change things or not does not affect whether or not you have worth.
Well, but I mean, if we were to take humankind completely out of our context and say that we don't matter and only scientific facts matter, then it's better off not having any of us.
Who cares what matters? Matters is irrelevant to the conversation. The question was, does a level of motivation affect truth? The answer is no. It's absolutely, unequivocally no. And then what matters is a completely different question. You keep conflating all these emotional things that have nothing to do with reality and then trying to impose them on reality.
You're also positing that someone's reputation has no bearing.
Right.
And someone's worth has no bearing.
On truth, correct.
And that we shouldn't care about our individual truths or our individual circumstances.
I don't even know what that means. So I didn't say anything about what we should or shouldn't care about. I said the facts of reality are true, independent of anything we care about. Our cares don't matter to the facts of reality.
Well, I would say that our cares matter enormously, and that the things that are of most value in this world have our individual and our human components to them.
Oh my!
And those are the things that create the most productivity in our lives.
Yes, but none of those things affect the truth of anything in reality.
So if someone were to make an argument that they're happy, their individual circumstances and what they've been able to live in conjunction with their values or in conjunction with their beliefs, or lack of belief thereof,
that would be either true or false, independent of their level of motivation. So someone could say they're happy and they were happy throwing poop at people and doing nothing and playing video games or whatever all their life. And that statement could be true, independent of their level of motivation.
Well, I would rather believe that if someone is motivated on spreading their philosophy, that they can accomplish and inspire other people. And they can have more worth.
That makes zero sense. So the level of worth you have is not contingent on how many people you motivate, and it's not contingent on how motivated you are.
If truth is not spread, then it dies. It is possible for a branch of science to die.
Truth cannot die.
Yeah, it can. It absolutely can.
No, it can't.
It can be lost to history.
That doesn't make a difference. It still doesn't die. Even if we don't know things, they're still true. So,
well, human ignorance is a dangerous thing.
Sure, but that's irrelevant to the truth of the thing. The thing is still true, even if no one knows it.
Even if no one knows it?
Yes, even if no.
Well, I would like to believe that your show has more value than that.
That doesn't make any sense at all. So again, the level of value is not contingent on the number of people who know something.
You all done? Yeah. Just go ahead and grab your glass.
Where's my coffee?
Well, I actually had to bring my car back because even though it is true that you can have a professional car washing service that is supposed to know how to vacuum the back of a car after you tell them to, they'll skip it and miss it. And you'll have to go back and get them to do it all over again.
And that's true, independent of their level of motivation. Even if they were hyper motivated, that could still be true.
No, they were not motivated.
But
they zoned out.
Independent.
They didn't execute. They didn't get there done. They didn't get it done. See, that's the hard part is that every single time it involves a human, you have to keep going.
That sentence does not make sense.
Well, I mean, it's like truth interacts with people, and people, help craft our reality. We all have an enormous impact on others.
No one can change truth. Truth is whatever's out there, and you can't change it.
You can change truth enormously.
Please change the law of gravity for me. Make me.
You can give shelter and food to someone.
That's
you
not
can give counsel and support to someone.
None of that is changing truth.
Sure, it is. They could go from being destitute and hungry and cold outside, or they could have a warm meal and clothes and.
Again, not changing truth. So I don't know what you think that qualifies as changing truths of the universe, but okay.
No, it doesn't change the universe, but it changes one small corner of the universe.
Which truth of the universe does that change? Is it gravity, electromagnetism?
Of human suffering?
That's not a truth of the universe. So
it is a truth. It is a truth. You could survey and determine how many people are in suffering or pain or anguish at any point in time.
Right. And so if at time t there's a million people suffering, and at time t plus 1 there is one person suffering, it doesn't matter if you did it. Those facts are still going to be true at both times. You didn't change anything.
All right. Well, I would say you have changed something. If you can relieve the suffering of nearly 1 million people, you've done something very tremendous.
Yeah,
maybe
that was already
maybe
true.
You'll even found a new philosophy.
That was already true before you did it.
Well, before you did it, it wasn't true. It wasn't there. You had more people
The
suffering.
sentence, you will do X, was true before you did X.
Oh. Well, I mean, everyone starts with the plan of everything happening perfectly.
I don't care what plans
reality,
are.
and then reality interacts with the plan, with the plan, and
I don't care what the plans are. So there's a set of propositions in the universe. This person will do X. And those sentences are all either true or false, and they are true or false before you're even born.
Well, TJump, I don't mean to sound like a doubter here, but I would have to argue that if you're discussing these issues with people, that their provincial existence has bearing, has standing in the discussion.
Great, but
that only if you're storing data in a database or in some arcane library, can the storage of facts and universal knowledge, you're like it's like salting away meat for the winter. I mean, I'm not invalidating the efforts of many PhDs and other, learned individuals in creating knowledge and truth in scientific truth, but eventually we have to bring it back to us as people.
That's great, but us as people can again never change truth.
Well, and I guess our lives are pointless then, huh?
No, the ability to change truth is not the measure of worth.
Well, I have to respectfully disagree, and I don't.
So like because you can't change gravity, you have less worth.
Why does anyone buy anything if you can't change truth?
Enjoy it.
Is that not true?
That is true.
I mean, why would we take a girl out on a date or decide to get a car or an apartment or a house?
Enjoyment, fun, happiness.
And there's got to be some shred of truth to this, right?
Yes, there is truth to all of those things. None of them involve changing truth.
But they do.
No.
You could go from not having an apartment to having an apartment. You could go from not having a car to having a car, not having a date, having a date.
None of those are changing truth. So again, there's all propositions. Proposition is a statement of fact. So at time t equals 7, here's the set of all facts of reality. At times t equals 8, here's the set of all facts describing reality. At times t equals 9, here's the set of all facts describing reality. You doing something isn't changing truth. Those sentences, the things that happened, this is the set that describes all facts at t equals 7. Here's the facts that describe all facts at t equals 8. You didn't change any of those. None of them.
Well, if your actions did result in something different than what was before, then you did change something.
No. Remember, so if every second of existence has a set of propositions that describes everything that's going on everywhere in the universe for that second.
All right.
And this exists for every second of the entire past and future. All of them.
I agree.
That means that you changed nothing. They were already that way before you did anything, before you were born. All of the things that you were going to do were already written in this set of propositions. They were already there. They were already true before you were ever born. And so you didn't change anything.
So the only issue is whether the only issue that we're lacking to have seen the rest of the movie, and that's just a matter of patience and time to witness the new truth.
Sort of. Like we can't
And that we have
change
no
truth.
bearing on reality.
We can't change truth.
All right. Well, I mean, many years ago, there were erstwhile people who decided to settle in my current residing state of Texas. They had diseases, Indians, drought, and a general lack of supplies from industrial centers, except on rare occasions when things would come through. And yet they would get out and get a patch of land, and they would farm and hunt and gather food and survive. And if they didn't do the effort of working very hard, then they would have starved and died.
Okay.
Or if they didn't defend themselves, someone could have come along and killed them, and then their family is over.
Yeah. So was the sentence "people will farm in Texas"? Was that sentence true 1,000,000 years ago?
Well, I mean, our modern society is built on the sacrifice and efforts of people that came before us.
So the question is the sentence "people will farm in Texas" true 1,000,000 years ago? Was that sentence true 1,000,000 years ago?
No, they probably didn't have people in Texas 1,000,000 years ago.
Right. So I said people will, it's future tense, people will farm in Texas. Was that sentence true 1,000,000 years ago?
No, it was not.
What?
I would argue it was not.
What? My head is just hurt with the silliness of what you just said.
Because at the time, you couldn't prove that someone in the future would farm in Texas. If you could go back into a time machine and you didn't have future knowledge of what's coming.
Oh, that's so dumb. All right, so
you can't prove when you don't have evidence. I mean, you've argued evidence, time and time again. If I have zero evidence of the future,
truth
if I were to say, in the future, mankind will travel and repopulate a distant planet on another star.
Yeah,
is that true or false?
Is either true or false. It could be true. I don't know. But if we go there and we find out it was true, then the fact that you said
if we say 1,000,000 years from now, we're going to be on another planet and we're going to leave Earth, we made it too dirty. We don't want to clean it up.
We can look back and say, yes, that sentence when he said it was true or was false. So like right now,
but we couldn't prove it.
The proof
I can't prove that we're going to be on another planet in 1,000,000 years.
It's irrelevant. It doesn't make a difference. Epistemology, how we know things, and proof is separate from ontology, what is the case. So if I said that 100 billion years ago, if I said dinosaurs will exist, that sentence would be true. That it would be true at any point in time. If I ever said it in the history of the universe, at the very, very beginning or at the very, very end, the sentence is true exactly to the same degree in both.
Okay. So it is also possible under this schema that I could say that in the future, God is going to make himself known and come down and visit us on the planet, and we will all bask in the awe and the and amazement of seeing God among ourselves.
Yeah, so if that happens in the future, then you saying that sentence today would be true today.
Okay. So faith is true.
No, it has to actually correspond to reality. If it corresponds to
reality, I can't prove the future.
Proof doesn't matter.
Just like I can't.
It doesn't matter. Proof doesn't matter.
You said it could be true.
All propositions are either true
could be true
or false.
So, right, but if we don't know because of our limited ability,
there's no could. All propositions are either true or false. Okay. They're true or false. Could be. They are true or false. They're one or the other. True or false.
Just as I can presuppose that we will escape this planet to avoid the sun encapsulating the Earth and destroying all of humanity, I could make the argument that God will pop down and say hi to everyone, and we'll all be just be completely impressed.
Literally irrelevant. So again, the question was: can we change truth? The answer is no. At all points in time in the universe, all propositions are either true or false. There's no maybe. Our level of knowledge doesn't matter. Epistemology doesn't matter. Proof doesn't matter. We don't change truth. Truth is just the way reality is, independent of anything anyone does.
That's a very cynical approach.
It's not. It's just a definition of truth.
I see. So truth can't change.
No.
something cannot not be true and then be true.
That makes zero sense. All facts that describe all of the universe were already written way before anything happened. And they were already true
Okay.
way before anything happened.
All right. So it is possible, because I can't prove it, that you're making a good argument or a bad argument.
Sure. It is either the case my argument is good or bad. There's no possibility.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe with some more coffee, it'll be better.
Typically, that more coffee makes things better.
Okay, good.
Hey, Gorski, what is up? What did you have anything for us?
Mr. Jump, what's going on? I have a question for you about the Atheist Church, and I just wanted to do a follow-up question with David from last week.
Who's David?
David, the guy you were talking to earlier. David Good something.
Oh, the guy with the
come on, bro.
yes.
fond
He's
of
using
saying.
the CapCut logo. Gotcha.
Anyway, for you, I know a lot of complaints that you'll hear within the atheist community in regards to churches is that a lot of them will say that they're charitable giving, but stop me if I'm wrong. In the United States, you don't have to have you don't have to open up your books when you're listed under a religious charity, that you don't actually have to say where the money goes. And that's why you see these sort of televangelists with like a bajillion swimming pool, summer homes, whatnot. And so if that's the case, how is the atheist church different? Church of Best of All Possible Worlds. Is there a way to like, or how did you file yours in regards to that sort of bracket?
So nonprofits have to file a 990 form. That's the tax form to say how much money you got and where it went, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't have to say like who gave it to you. That's confidential. But
Right.
you just say like where you got it, and you're usually going to say how you paid your pastors, which you can still pay them a lot. Like you can pay. There are nonprofit CEOs who are paid millions of dollars a year. Like it's not illegal to pay nonprofit CEOs millions of dollars.
Right. But when it comes to a church, they usually don't have to actually even say how much they're paying, correct?
I don't know. It depends on which kind of 990 form they have to file, and some have exemptions. But it doesn't make a difference. It's irrelevant. Like it's still pretty much legal to pay essentially large portions of money to pastors. As long as they're bringing in enough income to the church to justify it, you can still pay them millions of dollars, and that's fine.
From what I understand with religions, that bracket religion versus nonprofit, at least here in Canada, there's two separate, right? And I was told in the US it's the same, where both are the same, but when it comes to a religion, you don't actually need to say, like you can keep all of this confidential without saying who's being paid what.
It depends on which kind of file 990 form you have to file.
Are you going to be doing it in the more open?
Well, the government tells you which kind you have to file. So I have to file this one, the one they sent me in my IRS paper. That's the one I have to file.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I was just curious how that's going to work, because that is always something that, I mean, obviously, I think that you're doing something really cool with this, and I'm going to be wanting to support that. And I'm glad it went through. In regards to that big complaint that we'll usually hear when it comes to churches versus a typical type of charity.
I don't know what we're going to do for transparency regarding money. I'm not sure. I don't really.
Sure.
Because my goal is to buy an apartment building. So all of the money that we get is going to go into buying the apartment building. That's going to be the thing. And then we're going to use that money to build churches. So over 100% of the donations received will go to the church, because I'm going to be spending my own money in addition to the donations. So it's over 100% of all donations go to the charity.
Dang, that's impressive or admirable. Yeah.
Well, it's because we have income. Since the apartment buildings provide an income, we can pay all the employees with that income and not pay the donations, not pay with the donations. And so 100% of the donations goes to the charity. It's not like
Cool.
it's not like special or anything. It's just because we have an income.
Mm-hmm. Can I just ask a question to David?
Sure.
And then I'm gonna split. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, man. I asked you last week. I said you were saying last week, and just because I know you got spoken over and it got derailed really quickly, I know you were saying how you put a lot of weight into the idea of precognitive dreams, dreaming things before they happen, and justifying your religious beliefs. And I said, well, let's grant that. Let's just say tomorrow some scientist, some parapsychologist wins the Nobel Prize because they discover it's true that people have this ability. How does that get you towards justifying your religious beliefs?
Because it said it and then it happened, right? So it's like simple.
Wouldn't it just be an observation that, hey, this is a phenomena that occurs?
Well, I don't know. Do you like believe in like the universe in itself? Like imagine the universe before we were born, the universe literally the universe literally gave us specific indifferences. So like for example, like disorders or just whatever. Like do you think the universe could like know how our life would turn out? You think the universe would know that?
Do I think the universe knows anything?
Yeah, do you think the universe would know? Okay, every human, because of course, the universe. Like if you believe like in the universe, as you know, it made the Earth, and then the Earth made us through evolution. Then you would kind of have to know. Okay, the universe would have to know something.
I don't think the universe thinks, if that's what you mean. But if you mean like, is the information of our entire lives already predetermined? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, is the information on our lives in the universe through universe is endless. Like if you believe that universe has no beginning, no end, that means it should also have the information of us, right?
Personally,
So,
you talking like, is all the information of our existence already predetermined?
Yeah, by the universe, or yeah, basically.
I mean, I don't know, but let's just like, even if that was the case, I don't understand how that gets you to like God, Christianity, etc.
Well, because I really can't believe through 2000 or more years that it can predict something about a person or just about these things before it happened, right? I don't believe that, you know.
Well, let's just say
I don't believe that, and then I can't say, okay, these things are happening in front of my eyes, and also I just can't deny it, you know. I can't deny what I'm seeing, you know.
So like, let's just grant that, let's just say tomorrow we discover it's like time isn't tensed. It's whatever B or C theory of time, and that all the information of every existence is out there, and it's, I don't know what, it's like a holographic universe. Let's just say, pretend like that is the case. That still doesn't really, even if that was the case, what does that have to do with a God or the supernatural?
Well, God has no beginning and end too, right? Think about this. Think about this. Universe, right? Universe. Let's say it has no beginning and end, right? Let's say you would go in the future, right? You would interact with your future self, right? You would try to change something about your future self. Would it impact your current self, or would it not impact your current self? Because the universe has, like, if you would try to change some stuff in the universe has like kind of like a defense mechanism where it says, okay, no matter what happens, this won't, like, this, there's no like possibility for something to like change a fate. You can't change something that has always been there, you know. So we can't like God knows how we're gonna be in the future. For example, that's what I believe. He knows how we're gonna be in the future. He already knows how it is. And if you don't believe in God, then you might believe, okay, the universe. If you go in the future, then you know. Do you read about this stuff, like people going in the future, interacting with themselves, or do you if you did you even see like a movie about it or article or something?
Yeah, this is like talked over in parapsychology, which I'm not granting it. I'm just saying if that was the case and everything
Yeah.
is predetermined like a book,
Yeah.
I still don't see like how that seems completely disconnected to God, religion, and the supernatural. That just seems like it has nothing to do with it.
I mean, for me personally, like that's the reason why I believe in God, because of the fact that all of the stuff, like if you would see your future self, how like let's say you would dream about your future self and how you would be and stuff, and it came to pass, right? Um, what would you think then? Would you think, okay, believe God, or do you think it's like chance, or like even if you would act that way, even if you would try to become that way, you know? It really just depends on you, you know. It depends, it depends on you, you know. But but
I've had dreams and stuff, and then it happens. And I know TJump has talked about this too. A lot of people have called up atheist shows and talked about that. I default to it just being chance until I have better reasons to believe that it was something more than just chance, even if it
why do
seems
you
like
think it's
something that was.
chance?
Well, we know that, like I mentioned last time, there's billions of people dreaming all the time, every night, really, billions. And we have billions of dreams for years and years. Eventually, some of those are going to just be like mapping onto reality in some way, just by chance alone. That would have to happen. But even if we could say, you know what, this seems like it was, I don't know, something so utterly improbable. I was given a string of 10 numbers and letters. I woke up and then it was verified to me or something like that. That still doesn't seem like it gets you to God, religion, or the supernatural.
Well, isn't like what would you define luck as supernatural, or would you define luck as something you can create by like most probability chances? What do you think? Can you create luck, or do you think luck is supernatural? That's really the big question. Like,
If you flip a quarter and you just keep flipping it, wouldn't you expect that at some point you're going to get heads, 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 or tails, 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 tails? And if everybody's
of
doing
course.
that all the time, right?
Mhm.
Right. And so after a while, you're going to focus on those heads, 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 where it's just a pattern, and you're going to pick up on that,
So
but you're going to
so
ignore all the rest.
so you would think, okay, luck is something you can create by doing it multiple times. By doing the multiple times, you can create luck.
I think that you're going to find patterns eventually, for sure. You'd have to, statistically.
Okay.
You don't
Well,
think so?
but then we think about the universe, which is even more complex. Well, what do you think that's luck too? Like, well, you know, I heard a theory from, I don't know if it's from TJump though, but I heard a theory that through multiple universe, like if you be like the multi universe, then through multi universes, we could be that one lucky universe that was created through multiple universes that failed. Which that would be a good theory, but we don't really know that, right? And then we have to ask ourselves, okay, how much, what created those multi universes, right? Uh, you know, there's like three ways to like believe in stuff. Like either you think it's by a being, either you think it's multi universe, or either you think universe was always there. Like that's the only three ways you can really just believe. Like that's the only three ways you can really believe in things, right? And some people think we don't, like we ourselves don't even exist, like we as persons don't exist, universe doesn't exist, nothing exists. There's some people that I know that think like that, you know.
Yeah, somebody in chat was saying what you're bringing up is synchronicity. Is that what you're kind of bringing up with the whole thing?
What do you mean synchronicity? What
Like
do you mean
the idea of like seeing patterns that are leading you to a specific belief.
well, if I
Anyway,
can't create those
I don't.
patterns, if I
So-
can't create those patterns, that means it's supernatural because if me myself that exists, right? If I can't create those patterns, then it has to be from something that is not me. Basically, something is not me. Something, me, I exist, right? So it has to be someone from that is not exist. You know. So if I can't create those patterns myself, then I just can't really, you know. For example, okay, with the coin flip, okay, I can't really say, okay, God made it or something, you know, made it happen. So then when you go down to like deeper stuff, for example, let's say money flying from literally the sky, bro, like from the universe, for example. How do you think that happens? Right?
You asked, how does money fall from the sky?
Yeah, from like let's say money falls from the universe, for example.
Like pray for a gold brick and the gold brick appears?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or like through force. Like for example, like you think something and then it appears right in front of you. You know, out of nowhere too. Like that. That's like a chance where even though I'm thinking it, I don't have the physical. I don't have the physical like strength to like just telekinesis, boom, brick. I don't have that. You know. I'm
But
not
it's
like that's
is this is
supernatural.
but is this what, like, what Tom often says, you pray for a gold brick and a gold brick appears, that would be good evidence? Or is this you saying, like, I don't know, talking to a friend, walking down the street, talking about pickles, and then we noticed a pickle jar next to the garbage, sort of thing? That
No,
doesn't
no,
sound like it
no,
would be
no, no.
novel.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that because I mean, of course, the more things that more things that visibly exist, and the more things that visibly exist, mostly more visibly come to pass. Right? For example, I think about like a girl like walking the street, like it's gonna happen, right? There's like there's multiple human beings on the earth, right? I feel like probability only comes when it is in in your favor. Probability doesn't come when it's not in your favor, right? So the more we go into it, the more deeper you think about it. Like the fact that I would dream. Let's say, okay, maybe if it's once, okay, it comes past once, but let's say it comes past multiple times. What would you think about that? You know, that's a question, really.
I unfortunately have to go, but I want to throw that why don't you throw that question back to TJump, because I know he's talked about this before. Anyway, thanks for your time, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. TJump, you there? TJump? Well, modest AFK. Bro, you there? Bro, are you there, bro? TJump? Yo, TJump, did you like you like sleep, bro? Like midstream? Because I swear you were like there for like last 5 minutes, bro. Last 5 minutes I definitely heard you, bro. Where you going, bro? Yeah, I think we gotta wait this one.
Your guys' arguments were too good, and TJump had to run away. Let me go see if I can catch him.
Okay, bro.
What do we got?
Let's go, TJump. I had a. Oh, you're
Sorry, I
back.
left you there. That was bad timing.
Hey, wait, you're back. You're back for good though. Or
What?
TJump, you missed like a big chunk of argument. You know, I mean,
Yeah, I was in the bathroom.
No, I
I
was just
thought
saying,
he was.
David.
I thought he was asleep. I thought he was asleep. Yeah. I was. I think I didn't want to scream, because censorship, of course. But nice, bro.
I was just saying to David. I have to go in a few minutes, but he had a question on synchronicity and dreams that I know you've talked about before, and you could probably, David, why don't you ask him, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Yeah, TJump, what do you think about that? Like,
Well, what?
like probability can like let's say you dream multiple times, right? And most of those things come to pass, right? What do you think? Like,
It happens all the time. It happens to
I
me.
like, do you get like 7 dreams, for example, and then all 7 come to pass?
Yep. It's a common phenomenon. It happens in humans all the time.
Do you think that the more probable something is, the more it's gonna happen?
Obviously.
Of course, but the less probable, would you say like luck is like? Do you think you can create your own luck?
No.
Basically, what would you think? So would you like acknowledge that? Would you acknowledge that luck is supernatural, or would you say,
No.
okay, luck is like, so luck is not supernatural, or it is something that we can create?
Neither.
Basically,
No, that's stupid.
so neither.
Yeah, it's a false dichotomy.
So what would that be called?
Luck is when things happen to you that you like that don't normally happen to people. That's all it is. It's not created. We didn't do it. It's not supernatural. It's just some people get happy things that happen to them in the universe, and other people get unhappy things that happen to them in the universe. We call it luck. There's no force of luck.
So luck is basically something that could be like good.
It's not a something. It's stuff happens, and if there are things that we like that happen, we call them lucky, and if there are things that we don't like that happen, we call them unlucky.
So luck is basically like for you, luck is like emotion, like something like like emotional feeling you get of something that would normally not happen, but it's something that happened and it's something that's good. So luck is like
Sure.
that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do you think luck is something great though?
No, you already asked.
Can you create like good? Can you create like force of good?
No.
Okay. But can you create force of bad?
No.
Can you create the opposite?
No. Somebody else raised their hand. Let's give them a
Okay.
chance to talk for a little bit.
Of course.
Hello?
Hey,
Oh, okay. I'm here. Hey, first of all, thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk. I just joined, so if I deviate from the topic, please let me know. But last I heard, we were talking about luck and whether it's a real thing or not, right? Um, I I like to think that
first,
luck
you
is
should
something.
turn down the gain on your microphone because it's going
I'm
way,
sorry,
way
is this
above.
better?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think luck is definitely something that's legitimate. I do think it's something that exists. If I could, I want to give like just like a life experience to kind of I don't know what anybody else has made a comparison about in terms of relating luck to real life or whatever. But my own personal experience, I have to say it exists, because for example, I went out with this girl once, right? And the date was going absolutely terrible. And she I had made a comment, and then she said something along the lines of, "Oh no, my dad actually passed away," and it made something like it made it really awkward, right? And through luck, we actually ended up hooking up, so it was really just great, and I think because of that, luck definitely exists.
You still,
I
you
don't
still
think
need to
you can
fix
say
your
it doesn't.
microphone.
Obviously, there was something there that made that happen. And she ended up having some really nice tits, and we hooked up, and it was
You
great.
need to fix your microphone. Turn the gain down.
I think I know what he's talking. I think he's talking about like
It's trolling.
like
That
the cause
was
and effect thing, but like
that's what's called trolling.
Hello, everyone. Hey, TJump. I never spoken to you before. Thank you for bringing me on stage so I can speak with you. And thank you, Politics server and staff team, for allowing this to happen every week. Looking forward to future events to occur. TJump. I was a Christian for maybe 3 or 4 years, and I fell away because I realized that it's lacking in logic. And we're gonna get into the luck, all right, part. But TJump. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry. You believe? I'm trying to. How do you put this on speaker? I don't know how to put this on speaker. Whatever. I'm sorry. So you believe in numbers? Do you believe them to be objectively true?
Numbers don't exist. Numbers describe things that exist.
Okay. So could you describe someone's age?
Sure.
Okay. And that's a number. So it's subjective then.
No.
All right.
Age is a system we made up
So
about this Earth going around the sun. It's not objective.
okay, TJump. I used to go after tens, but then I started going for fives.
Okay. Next.
Hi there.
Hey.
How do you know that God does not exist?
Because there's no evidence, and there's a lot of evidence that it's made up by humans in their imagination.
So so where does truth come from, and how do you know it's true?
Truth doesn't come from anywhere. Truth is that which corresponds to reality. How we know it's true is evidence.
Okay. Do you believe in the unseen? Do you believe in miracles?
No. There's no evidence of miracles.
Isn't a miracle that your mother gave birth to you?
No, that's biology.
What about let's say, for instance, the miracle of the man touching the moon?
You mean Armstrong?
Yep.
That wasn't a miracle. That's physics.
I mean, it is a miracle. Like,
how is that a miracle?
Because very little people have actually done it before.
So that doesn't make something a miracle.
I think it's not a miracle if it's supernatural. If it's not a miracle, if it's not supernatural, If it's supernatural and then if it's supernatural and then I don't know, TJump, you think that a truth truth means something that then happens in the real world, basically?
Sort of, yes.
So let's say if Jesus would appear in front of you, would you believe him then?
That would be good evidence. I would probably have to get more evidence that it wasn't just a delusion or something, but that'd be good evidence.
I mean,
Okay.
to be honest, TJump, you must be one miserable guy if you don't believe in God. Like, come on, man.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. Why do you think you need to believe in God to be happy? Sounds like a delusional religious thing.
No, it's not. I mean, if we know God exists,
Based on what? Because
we
all
do
the
know God
scientists
exists.
say he does not.
Yeah, that's science. That's man-made.
Yeah, and it's true.
No, it's not.
Science isn't
Just
true.
because, just no. I mean, not all of science isn't true.
Well,
I
pretty much
mean,
all of the
some.
Bible is false.
No, it's
Science
not.
is the most true thing of all things that we know about.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
So do
I
you believe in
mean,
the
it is the case. Jesse Driftwood says, I'm 85 times happier since I realized I didn't believe in God.
wait, who said that?
Guy in my chat.
Well, I mean, in the Bible, right? It's like it talks about repentance from your sin, right? And of course, it also says, no, well, it's not also says, but like it's mostly common that people love the sins and all of that stuff. So, I mean, of course, you're gonna feel more happy doing what you want than doing what the Bible says. I mean, that's pretty logical.
Because the
I mean,
Bible's
you gotta
wrong.
remember,
Yeah.
you must be one really delusional guy if you don't believe in God. Like, come on, man.
Do you have any evidence for that?
Of course I do.
Like what?
In the Bible, in the Quran, there's so many evidence that there is God.
Like what?
How we believe, for example, in the Bible, they believe he's one.
What is the evidence? I don't care what they believed. I want to know what the evidence is.
Well, I got spiritual evidence, of course. Like, for example, let's say what you like science, right? New age, right? Science, new age. What science could probably be completely wrong in the old ages. Do you think science would be like hold the same truth as it would 2,000 years ago when Jesus was like on the
I
earth?
don't know what that means.
Don't you think that for truth can only truth is, like you said before, something that manifests itself in reality, right? So what do you think, TJump, if you were 2,000 years and you saw Jesus and you heard about the Bible and that was the only truth available, would you believe in Jesus?
No.
That's well, but you have to think from a perspective that you would have no science. Let's say you would have no science. You would only have the truth would be.
So people
Well,
had science back in the Roman days. Science has existed since the Greeks.
okay, but you wouldn't have you would have a completely different you would have a completely different thing. You would have completely different evidence, and all of that type of stuff. So you would go off the thing that has most truth.
Yeah, the most
And back in
evidence.
those days, the thing that had the most truth was the Bible.
No, not even close at all. No. Like again, Greeks. We had science with Greeks. It was more true than the Bible before the Bible was written.
Damn, I gotta go, man.
Oh no!
Wait.
I'm so sad.
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
so sad.
I wanted to argue a little more, But anyways, TJump, have it good with the channel, Hopefully everything goes good.
Yep. Talk to you later. Take a brief intermission and play my ad sponsored by me, because ads. Need my ads. Hey guys, just wanted to give you an update. The dumbasses at YouTube still have not given me back my monetization because my debates were uploaded on other channels first. So even though they're of me with my content that I own, they're reused content. And under that policy, your entire channel gets demonetized if you're using reused content. So YouTuber dumbasses, please support me here at my PayPal link, bit.ly/TomJump. It's case sensitive, so capital T, capital J. If you can, I really appreciate your support to make up for the idiots at YouTube. Thanks. That is. Thank you for listening to our sponsored message from our sponsor, me.
Oh.
Hey.
Hello, Trump.
What's up?
Hello, Jump. Hello. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay then. Are we still on intermission or?
No, you can say words now.
Fair enough. I was going to say, are you on the atheist side or are you?
Yes.
Okay, we are. Okay, I would say I'm an agnostic.
Okay.
So I was just to make it clear, I was born. So just to make it to cut the story thingy. I am also autistic, so if I end up miswording or
I am also autistic, so it's totally fine.
Fair enough. Just like to clarify because it's internet and everything. It makes life easier. Being brought up Jewish and having a lot of it basically make no sense to me. In that I'm supposed to believe a scroll that someone apparently wrote like 2,000 years ago. To me, that just seems a little bit. It's like I see that with everything. You've got to believe a scroll somebody apparently came up with about 100, God knows how long ago. Somebody came up with a book. Somebody came up with it's hard to believe without conclusive evidence that XYZ happened, if that makes sense. I'm open to going along with it if I can have conclusive evidence, but just somebody sitting there saying, "Oh, I have a scroll that someone found in a cave."
Right.
It doesn't.
Well, so it could be evidence. So, like, if there was a scroll that we found in a cave 2,000 years ago that said DNA is a double helix, the world is 4.5 billion years old, the universe is 13.8. That would be good evidence.
No, but there's nothing. Yeah, but there's nothing today to make that conclusive. A lot of it is based on belief. A lot of it is based on belief in I want to believe this is real.
Right. So there isn't actually any evidence of religions. I agree.
Okay, I'm going to use the Holocaust as an example. A lot of the time, throughout all that, it was pure belief that got people through it. If that makes sense. I'm talking about on the Jewish side.
I don't remember the statistics, but I think it was like a half split. Most Jews actually left religion because of that experience.
No, I'm talking about the people who stayed on, who didn't leave, who were still, by definition, Jewish.
Right, but you said it was like most. I think it's like about half and half.
Okay, no, fair enough. I need to look into that actually. But the thing was, it was all based on pure belief. It wasn't this God that everybody apparently believes in is definitely going to come along and save us. It's the belief that they will at some point come, and it's very hard to sit there and go, yeah, okay, you had belief in it, therefore I should.
Right.
Like, does that make sense?
Sure. Belief helps people to be motivated. That's the primary benefit of religion, whether or not it's true.
Of course, but then again, having a belief system also causes other problems when you are being forced into following the rules of said religion.
Technically, that's true, but overall, the net impact is actually positive for religion. That's why it's so prevalent in most human societies. There's a bunch of data that shows that being religious decreases the murder rate, drug use rates, burglary rates, domestic violence rate, all by about 3 to 5% overall. And so
okay,
the being religious
Are you?
has lots of small positive benefits, and there are negative benefits like religion increases war by 7% and atrocities by 11% or something like that. But overall, if we take the
Where the stats are?
what?
Can I ask where the stats are from?
There's a book. I actually have all the stats listed in my debate with R and Ra. You can see them. There's big slides that have all the stats listed there.
Yeah, you can send if you can send DM me a link and I'll have a look.
Okay.
Because I'm genuinely curious myself. I'm not trying to say you're wrong or anything. I'm genuinely interested for me to decide. I'm just sort of.
Let's see. TJump.
It's just very
versus R and Ra. TJump.
There
it
sorry.
is.
Thanking you.
Copy link. There you go. I DM'd you the link to the debate.
I sent you a thing as well. All I'm saying is that it's very hard to sit. I'll have a look at that a little bit later. Thankfully, my thing is, there are also occasions where you get like rules that don't make sense. Like I'm going to talk from my own experience, but take on the Jewish side, you're not allowed to mix milk and meat. Now, for as long as I know, I've always been told it's just one of those rules, but there was never really an answer.
What was the
and
question?
It kind of makes it. No, I'm talking about I'm saying about rules that are just there for the sake of it.
Yeah, they were beneficial in the past.
So why, if they were beneficial then, why try and enforce them now?
Because it's convenient for people to make up rules that they write down in their time period and they just apply it to religions which transition over time through culture and are implied when they're not useful. Like in Christianity, it said don't wash your hands and don't mix your linens and don't eat pork, which were useful back then and not so much now.
But you can see why I'd question it.
Sure.
Like you wouldn't. I'm not going to sit there and say yes. This person said A, B, C, D. Therefore, it's quite a. I'm trying to think of a word. The only problem is what happens if there ends up being a clash because X religion because there's been let's say a certain religion hasn't integrated into society.
Yes, those happen all the time, but I don't I'm an atheist, so I agree there's no evidence of religion. I think there's lots of evidence against it, but I don't understand what you are.
You can see where I'm coming from.
Right, because I'm an atheist, so I already agreed with you before we started the conversation for the most part.
No, fair enough. I didn't realize which side you were on to begin with. It just said atheist call-in show.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were talking to atheists and discussing with them or whether you were one yourself.
Sure, both of those are I'm happy to talk with atheists or Christians.
Fair enough. But yeah, I just thought while I had a moment I'd put my piece out there.
Sure.
But yeah, I sent you a thing in the Discord, so thingy. But until the next time.
Yeah, check out that debate I sent you, because even though I'm an atheist, I was arguing that religion caused more good than harm in that debate because of all the stats and stuff I listed.
I'm going to a bit later on. I've literally got to run for a bus.
Sure. No problem.
I'm going to but yeah, I will be. But thanks again, and I'll yeah.
Yep. Talk to you later.
And yeah, until the next time. Thanks again, Jump.
What is up, Ghost?
How you doing, boss man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm chilling. So is this like a talk show about the Bible, debating the Bible?
Sure. Just anything God related. Any arguments, evidence, philosophy, Bible, I don't care.
Oh, okay, I got you. I wanted to ask a question too. How did you get that partnership? I've never seen that before.
What partnership?
With the Discord partner server owner. How'd you get that?
You apply for it. If you have a server with, I don't remember how many people you need, but a lot, and then you apply for Discord partnership.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm definitely gonna check it out. So do you believe in the Bible, or is it just?
I'm an atheist. I think there is no God.
Okay. I see. Just wanted to ask a simple question. I'm not trying to debate like Christianity or anything, you know, because I don't usually talk to a lot of atheists and stuff like that. But so what do you think? Do you believe that God exists, or do you just like are you agnostic, or like you just
Atheists.
straight
I
up
believe
atheist?
God does not exist.
Okay. What are you basing that off of evidence or?
Yes, evidence. So everything, the vast majority of things people come up with no evidence are purely imaginary and don't exist in reality. God is a thing people made up that has no evidence. Therefore, it's likely God is purely imaginary.
Okay. So, like, there is evidence in the Bible, though. Like, there's the bones, Jesus' brother's bones being found. You know, we look at Sodom and Gomorrah. If we look at
There isn't any evidence of Sodom and
archaeologists.
Gomorrah, that's for sure. So there's evidence of some things in the Bible, like David, King David, is the first person in the Bible who actually existed. Everyone else is made up before him. So there are people in the Bible who did exist, but in Spider-Man, New York City exists. That doesn't mean Spider-Man is true. So the fact that the Bible has some true facts doesn't mean that all the things in the Bible are true.
So now we're going into a deeper rabbit hole. So, like, you know how the Bible says that the Euphrates River would dry up. Do you believe that to be happening now, or did it happen throughout history? You know, it dried up, etc.
It's dried up multiple times throughout history.
Right. Yeah, I believe that too. You know, it dried up definitely multiple times. I don't know what time period, but
Every season without rainfall, it dries up. It's like it's often.
right. Or I hear you. So, what do you think about CERN? Like, you know, like they're trying to recreate the God particle with like 13 whatever.
The God particle is called the Higgs boson. We're not trying to create one. They already exist. We're just trying to see them, and we already did, and they were discovered. And Higgs won a Nobel Prize when they were discovered. So they've already been discovered.
Right. Do you think people can recreate it?
What? It's
like CERN. Let's say they want a particle accelerator. They can shoot it and create it.
sort of. So they collide particles together really, really fast and really hard. And when they collide, they break into smaller particles. And one of those smaller particles is the Higgs boson.
Right. True. But the thing is, like, do you think it's possible for them to ever create something?
They don't create anything at CERN. CERN doesn't create things. CERN smashes things together. They break stuff.
Yeah, they're just dependent though. Like, do you think it could open like a portal or something? I
No.
don't know. That's been a debate about that. Open a portal or something like
No.
that.
Smashing tiny particles together isn't going to create a portal anywhere.
All right, let's hope not. So what exactly is this? Kind of confused with that. What exactly is this? Like this talk show stuff? Because I've seen a few people that was on here.
It's a talk show. You come, ask questions, present evidence of God, kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Specifically, like supporting atheism, or just like you know, just like a debate, right?
Either one.
Okay, I got you. So do you believe in the vaccine and stuff like that? I really don't want to talk about that, but I'm just saying, like, you believe in science and
Yes,
stuff like
it's
that?
been proven to work.
So what about like side effects and stuff like that?
Yes, there are side effects like myocarditis.
Right.
It's just less than what you would get if you got COVID.
True. So I don't think you know about this. So if you actually have like a what it's called is a it's called a I'm trying to remember what it's called. Like it's a PCR it's a it's a PCR tester. So like could you see if someone has COVID or something using a PCR test? Like a PCR tester specifically?
You can see the antibodies that would, like, sort of, yes, like indirectly. So it sees
Oh, okay.
test genetic material, so it would find the genetic material of the virus. Sure.
Where can it do any other like organism or like virus or anything, right?
Yes. Well, maybe
Gotcha.
depends. Like, I imagine there's a minimum size that it can test for, and it can't test for anything smaller than that because it's testing like for a certain genetic material.
Oh, okay, I see. So like let's say you know, like regular stuff like this green tea can I have, like can I test it to see if it has different stuff inside of it or just like what's on the label? Like green tea specifically. You think that's possible with the PCR tester?
PCR test for DNA. If you're looking for DNA, maybe it's not going to tell you if it has
Right.
like salt in it.
Oh, okay, that's probably something else. Probably something, you know, more expensive.
All right, I'm going to need to get ready to go. Thanks for coming to the show, guys. Appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys next time.